Hi, I'm Shar.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Alexa.
And today
we're going to show you how to graph secant and cosecant. Woo woo! Yeah!
Let's talk about graphing secant and cosecant. You'll need to know a couple things before you get started. So let's get started. First, you sketch the midline. Then you sketch the amplitude. After that, you sketch the asymptotes with dashed lines. When you're done, your graph should look something like this.
Hi guys, I'm Rachel and I'm going to show you how to graph secant. So the most important thing to remember is that it's the inverse of cosine. So that means it's just like the opposite of where cosine would be. So here I am just making my little graph. Okay, so I'm just gonna, in the vertical, in the y-axis, I'm just doing irregular numbers. And then in the x-axis, I'm doing it by like pi and stuff. So the highest one that I need on this graph is 2 pi, and then I also have 1/2 pi, etc., etc. So the first thing that I'm going to do is sketch my midline, which is on -1 because that's what it says in the little front. That little front part is always where your midline is. That's what I'm doing in blue. And then I'm going to do my amplitude, which is the +2 because it's always the coefficient of the secant or cosecant. So yeah. And then I just do my asymptotes, which are always at 1/2 pi and 3/2 pi if there's no coefficient to your theta. And then all you do is graph, just like this. Woo woo. So it should look something like that. And we're all done.
Hi, you guys. I'm Alexa, and I'm going to show you an example that requires you to do endpoints. The example is going to be 1/2 x cosecant theta over 3 plus 2. So first I'm going to graph my midline, and that's going to be 2. Next I'm going to graph my amplitude in the blue marker as a dashed line just to make sure I don't mix up my midline and my amplitude. Now I'm going to find the endpoint by doing 2 pi divided by 1/3, which equals 6 pi. Next I'm going to graph my endpoints by doing a dashed line going vertically. And it's going to be 6 pi away from the origin on both sides. Next I'm going to graph the asymptote as a dashed line going vertical in blue, just so I don't mix up my endpoint and my asymptote. Next I'm going to graph cosecant, which is an inverse of sine, and I'm going to do that above the x-axis and below the x-axis. And that is how you graph cosecant.
Hi everyone, it's Shar again, and let's step it up and try something more challenging, like 2 cosecant, 2 theta, plus 2 pi over 3. So first you just write out your graph. You sketch the midline. After that, we'll flip the board over to calculate our shift. You calculate your shift by subtracting 0 from 3 pi over 2. And your answer will be -3 pi over 2. So your shift will be -3 pi over 2. Now we can finish graphing. So we know our endpoints, so just mark where your endpoints will lie and then sketch your asymptotes. After you sketch your asymptotes, you just sketch out the graph, and that's it. Thanks for watching. And remember to subscribe.